Whoa, it's been a while, hasn't it? Sorry for the long break. I've been busy, but I'm back with vengeance. My name is Gabriel. I am a father, I'm a husband, I'm a mental health counselor. I am today celebrating 603 days of sobriety from pornography. When I started this journey about 6 years ago, it really has changed my life completely. Now I want to dedicate a big portion of my life and trying to encourage other people to start on this journey as well. It hasn't been easy. It's been a journey full of ups and downs, and I'm still learning, I'm still going, and this is a topic that I'm really interested in. Perhaps it's you, perhaps you have a loved one that needs to start on this journey, and it can seem overwhelming of how do you even begin to take that first step. I think a fantastic first step, if you've been thinking about finally overcoming an addiction or a part of your life that you're really ashamed about, is to let somebody know. Talk to somebody about it. Or as I like to call, find your Samwise Gamgee. So, there's so many different articles, so many things that's happened in the news lately in regards to sexual promiscuity in our culture. Where do we even begin to start? There was an article that came out earlier this year in August 2018. A story that came out from Pennsylvania. 900-page report that came out. A grand jury was working on this report for many years. At least 1,000 incidents of sexual misconduct done by members of the Catholic Church, clergy in the Catholic Church in the state of Pennsylvania. This is from NPR that I'm reading. The grand jury said it reviewed 500,000 pages of internal church documents and secret archives that were readily available to bishops. It found credible allegations by more than 1,000 victims. But it added that we believe that the real number is in the thousands. So we're talking a lot of different types of sexual misconduct. There were these 300 clergy were doing things like there was rape, sexual harassment. There was even a case with one clergy member that got a 17-year-old pregnant in his church, ended up marrying her, and then divorcing her. Not cool. Freaking outrageous. This is nuts. Just in one state, finally, the grand jury came out. These names are exposed. But of course, it's eye-opening to people because they're like, man, if this finally came out in one state, it makes me think, what the heck is going on in all the other states in regards and behind closed doors? Could this have been prevented at all? Could the church as a whole have had things in place, policies in place that would at least prevent some of this catastrophic incidences from happening, that could have maybe even saved the integrity, saved those perpetrators from committing the heinous act? It's like in movies, you know, like movies that you know what's going to happen already, like The Lion King. Man, I used to watch The Lion King, and that scene when Scar just gets Mufasa and just lets him out in the cliff. As a kid, I watched that movie over and over, just wishing that maybe this one time Mufasa wouldn't die to the wildebeest. Maybe Scar, this one time it would be different that I'm watching the movie, but it never happened. Anyhow, I digress. What measures were there for, this is the key word for this episode, accountability? What measures were placed where these bishops, maybe even in the early stages of them grooming their victims, that they could have stopped and said, maybe this is not a good idea. Maybe committing this sexual act on this person is really going to ruin their life and ruin my life. And you know what? It kind of goes contradiction with what I'm teaching, being a leader of the church. I mean, for them to pause and just reflect about their actions before actually doing it. Well, you know, people in the helping profession, whether you're a counselor or in the medical field, there's ethics, codes of ethics that govern your practice. So for instance, the ACA, the American Counseling Association, talks about countertransference and transference. Basically, the phenomena of the feelings that happens from the client to the counselor, or from the counselor to the feelings that they have towards the client. You got eyes. There's clients that come in. One of the clients may be somebody extremely attractive, and you're there. You're just sitting with them one-on-one, and the ethics say basically if you're having feelings towards a client that's really interfering with your ability to be able to help that client, then you need to transfer yourself. Either refer them out, talk to your supervisor about it, maybe they need to be reassigned, right? So you should be able to have a trust enough relationship with whoever your superior is, where if you're having these type of feelings, whatever the feelings may be, it doesn't have to be sexual in nature, but you can say, hey, maybe I'm not the best person to be able to treat this one person. Where was that? Where was that accountability in these cases of 300 different bishops doing these crazy things, hurting these families, ruining their reputations, causing psychological damage to these victims forever? Where was that accountability early on? I feel like as guys, I'm picking on the guys because I'm a guy at this point of these videos. Why are we so scared of accountability? Like, if I were to say to you, are you accountable to anybody? Like, does your girlfriend or significant other, what if she viewed all your browsing history for the last month? What if she had passwords to all your different accounts, knew where you were spending all your money, knew the websites you were visiting, knew who you were calling, knew how you were relating to members of the opposite sex, if she were to be a fly on the wall seeing your interactions day to day? Would that make you nervous? And if so, why? That's the thing, right? That if we're not the same person everywhere, if we're hiding stuff, why are we hiding stuff? Especially from people that we say that we care about. Accountability. Accountability just holds us accountable to the way we want to live anyhow. And it happens with other people that care about us to encourage us on whatever our goal is. On the journey of sexual sobriety, on the journey of overcoming any addiction, it's a journey that has to be made with other people to help you in the success. It's not a journey that you can do on your own. In the movie Lord of the Rings, it talks about this hobbit. That's the main protagonist. A small little hobbit named Frodo from the Shire, who takes on this huge gargantuan task that he has to deliver the Ring of Power to Mount Doom, to throw it in there, and that's the only way it can be destroyed, because that's where it was forged. But it's difficult. Not anybody can do this job because the ring itself wields tons of power to whoever is the one that owns the ring, and it has seduced different leaders over all of the many years, and it's come to their destruction. But Frodo was the one assigned the task. He was going to go and deliver the ring. But Frodo couldn't do this by himself because he had a sturdy sidekick. Now this sidekick, he was kind of on the awkward side. He was not necessarily the most talented. He was kind of clumsy, kind of spoke too much at sometimes. But he was a critical part of this movie, critical part of the story, critical part in helping Frodo complete his task. He held him accountable. He encouraged Frodo whenever he was discouraged. He even admitted his own weaknesses. He was humble enough to realize that he wasn't strong enough to carry the ring on his own. We all need a Samwise Gamgee. Do you have one in your life? Do you have anybody that you actually feel comfortable enough to say personal things to? I'm not saying just talking about sports statistics and how's the weather going. Is there anybody alive on earth today that you'd be willing to say something like, dude, I struggle with porn and it's really messing up my marriage, or my finances are freaking out of control and I have a real problem with spending, something like that. Before things get so bad, here in the early stages of this thing that's going on, what is going to be your next step? Who is going to be the Samwise? Who are you going to call or talk to about this issue today? For the sake of your family, think of your family, think of your marriage, think of the plans that God has for you. And it doesn't involve being in bondage to whatever that addiction is. Okay? Hey man, thanks for listening to me and making it to the end of the video. Check out some of the other videos that I got. I'll see you next time. I'm coming back, delivering more videos. Thanks for watching. Gabe's Counselor Corner. Live free. The truth will set you free. Adios.